No.
3, 2, 1. What's happening, guys? This is Logan Robinson from Here the Spear, presented to you by Noel Game Day. We are here live. Instant reaction to Florida State's big-time win in Doak Campbell Stadium, 31-28 over the Miami Hurricanes and Manny Diaz. Florida State
The streak is over.
Snaps the streak. The 4-game winning streak that the Canes currently have on the Noles is snapped by Mike Norvell. First true rivalry game for Mike Norvell, definitely in person as a coach. This is his, to me, first rivalry game he's coached, and he's 1-0 against rivals. But he takes down the Miami Hurricanes in a thrilling win. Jordan Travis, I mean, for a guy that, has been talked about here and there, if, can he pass? Can he do this? Can he do that? Showed perseverance and tenacity.
Yeah, man. Like I was talking about the Mark Rogers, I've been one that, has bashed him and not been the biggest fan, but he made 2 throws that FSU had to have tonight. And he made multiple throws that should have been bigger plays, but that throw to Ja'Kai Douglas on the sideline was right in step, and that throw to Parchment on 4th down, beautiful throws. Tip your cap to him. As inconsistent as he is as a passer, the kid's got guts, man. And this is just a different team with him. Like we talked about on that podcast, the coaches have figured that out. They figured out how to scheme with him and how to run the offense, and it's just a significant drop off when he's not playing.
Yep. No, it is. That efficiency on offense was big. I mean, even though Florida State, out of the half, wasn't finding anything there, things had to start clicking, and they had to find that running game, which they did. But let's just talk about the last drive, because that's what everybody's thinking about and everything. You talked about it whenever he was able to drop that ball down to Ja'Kai Douglas. Let's talk about Ja'Kai Douglas, too, coming in and making a big-time grab there, just in, perfect timing between J-Trav and him. And, we know how Ja'Kai Douglas' speed is. We got to see it against Notre Dame. He's able to go on those fades and make those grabs and almost scores there, too. But it works out in perfect fashion where Florida State's able to keep driving, and then you're at the point where you're 4th and 14, and Jordan Travis finds Andrew Parchment, which earlier in the game, Andrew Parchment had a mistake, I believe, on himself on stopping on a route.
100%.
Yeah, and he makes up for it. But the biggest thing there, Jordan Travis stays in the pocket. He pulls up into the pocket. That's something that he's kind of struggled with in his past, but he pulled up in the pocket and wasn't nervous, and he was all go.
Now, I think that we said it here a few times. I think Ja'Kai Douglas needs more playing time. He's one of the few guys that can get consistent separation, but hell of a toss. And I think all of us were at 4th and 14. We're like, this is over, because me personally, I thought there was no one that was going to step up and make a play. And, after Parchment, Dustin, you said it too. I noticed that after on that freaking route he gave up on, he was too busy talking smack to the defensive player that he beat him. Not. I don't think he expected the ball to come to him, but that would have been 7 if that pass was completed. But that's going to go down in that Florida State Miami rivalry lore. Hell of a toss, man. That was a 30-yard dime in the air.
D-Lou, we can't hear you. D-Lou. I think Dustin's too is still, being up there, I think the stadium, the atmosphere, I'm interested to see, because I want to watch it. It's a little bit more sealed, the sound-wise, in the press box up there, but it seemed like the noise level that Florida State brought, the student section, everyone around kind of brought that atmosphere that you just live for.
I thought Notre Dame was louder.
Yeah, probably.
But, situationally, they were real loud. You can tell on TV, but I thought Notre Dame was loud, throughout the whole game.
Let's see if we have D-Lou back.
Hello.
There you are. There's D-Lou.
What a game tonight, man. I just finally got home a couple minutes ago. I mean, it's been over for like 2 hours. Heck of a night. I don't really know what to say about it. Florida State's defense was tremendous in that first quarter. They got to Van Dyke early and often, and you could tell that he was feeling the pressure before it was getting to him on a couple plays. But he settled in as the game went on. Miami found a couple things through the air, namely that like throwback pass to the tight end that they did 2 or 3 separate times for huge gains. And, it just came down to who wanted it more in that fourth quarter. And I thought Florida State, they stepped up on both sides of the ball. Finally, you get a chance to go down, game-winning drive. You didn't get a chance to execute one against Clemson. You get one against Miami. You go down there, you take the lead, and then the defense holds strong yet again. And this, Miami may not be what they've been in years past, but this is still, at least in my opinion, a signature win for Mike Norvell as he looks to assert Florida State getting back to the top in the state of Florida.
It was the one they have to have. It's part of the building process that you beat your rivals. Doesn't matter if they're 3-6 or 10-0. You have to beat your rivals in order to, prove that, hey, when it's a competitive environment, you have to show that you can beat them. So, this game was a must win. But I got to shout out Jermaine Johnson, man. Like,
absolutely,
I think he locked himself in as an All-American tonight.
First round pick.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, you're talking top 15, top 10 now. Yeah. I mean, I talked about it. I said Florida State has got to have a passer. This is where Keir Thomas and Jermaine Johnson can come off and have a highlight kind of real game, and they did that. And Jermaine Johnson, not only in just sacks, but tackle for losses, just bringing the tenacity and getting after the quarterback. I mean, Van Dyke in the early part of the game, he was rattled.
Yeah. Even on that last possession for Miami, it was Jermaine Johnson that, came in with the stick to finish off that tackle, and Miami was 2 yards short. So, but that guy was moving the entire night.
Yeah.
7 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, 3 sacks.
Yeah.
Back leading the FBS in
Forced
total
fumble.
sacks. Forced fumble that Florida State converted into a touchdown. I mean, man, for a guy that's only going to play one game in the Florida State versus Miami rivalry, when we look back on this one for years to come, Jermaine Johnson is the name that we're going to say.
Yep. Or we're going to say a couple of names. Let's note into some honorables. Let's talk about Amarion Cooper, true freshman coming in and making some plays. And we know about his interception, but talk about lockdown, man. I mean, he was playing his heart out and played fantastic. Number 37 was everywhere, and they were targeting after 37. They knew he was true freshman coming in, and he guarded perfect. He guarded practically perfectly tonight.
Yeah, he was excellent. And, we've talked about the woes and the defensive backfield throughout the season and kind of wondered a little bit when the youth was going to get more of a chance to make an impact. And you've seen it recently with Kevin Knowles and now with Cooper as well, who had a pick against Clemson, follow that up today, got a pick on, Miami's first drive, I believe, to give Florida State the ball back. And then multiple times throughout the game, he was the guy coming up, a receiver was about to make a catch. He was coming up to put a hit on him right as the ball went to their hands to force incompletions. I thought, he might have been Florida State's best overall defensive back today, maybe outside of Jarvis Brownlee, who I thought also had a terrific game.
I thought Brownlee struggled
a couple times.
I think Cooper was clearly the best corner today.
That's a true freshman.
Yep, I think that I think both Det and Robinson played really well at safety.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, talk about James.
Amari almost had the interception at the end, but him and I think it was Jamie ran into each other. Him and Det, he would have had 2 interceptions, but he played his tail off. He goes out, and on goal situation, Miami went right after Jermaine or Jewel. Sorry, I'm watching Ole Miss Texas A&M too, but they went after Jerry and Jones. You know, right after him on that goal situation, and Cooper's been coming on the last few weeks, so it's not a surprise that he has emerged, and he's a blue chip 4-star recruit. So another South Florida kid, Southwest Florida kid that those guys just play different ball, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I just think it's impressive to have a true freshman coming in, a guy that didn't get to Florida State until the summer, so he didn't get to go through spring practice like Kevin Knowles, and you're really seeing the growth that he's made since he got to Tallahassee.
Right now, you're seeing two true freshmen starting on FSU's defensive in their secondary with Kevin Knowles and along with Amari and Cooper, which is you got to like that in the middle of the season. Them getting a lot of playing time. Now they're starters where they're just impressing. Oh my God, what's happening here? We don't know what's going on in Nate's house. Someone help us.
Someone's blowing their nose.
I told you it's a party, man.
It is a party in the Greer house. I thought there'd be balloons. I thought there'd be champagne.
We got pizza. We got garden knots. We got kids blowing noses. Man, man, we're partying like it's
it's getting litty. It's getting litty spaghetti, baby.
Partying like it's 2016.
Yeah, we'll go with that one.
You got to get that joke.
Yeah, we'll go with that one, D-Lou. I was going to mention, too, let's talk about Andrew Parchman, where kind of missed on that route there, but comes up big and makes up for it with coming in and making that grab on the 4th and 14.
Yeah, play. Bro, just reading the Twitter reaction, man. I mean, that was just a god-awful play. At such a critical moment. But, you have to give him props for sticking to it and making a big play, on that 4th down. But that, I don't know what he's thinking there.
Yeah, I haven't really gotten a chance to go back and watch it yet, but just from listening to you guys and other people on Twitter, it really seemed like he tried to showboat right there against the Miami defender when he beat him off the line of scrimmage or, made him shuffle his feet, whatever. And I'm not sure, like you said, Nate, you said it earlier. I don't know if he wasn't expecting to get the ball in that play or if he thought it was a different play or whatnot. But, I mean, a low mid-game, let alone mid-play, that's not acceptable. But he did come up with a big play in the end, and, Florida State got the dub, and that's all that matters. But I'm sure when the coaches look back on film, that's something they're going to focus on. Can't be doing
I mean, I will pat myself in the back a little bit. I felt that Florida State had a marked advantage running the ball, especially at, outside the tackles. And, Florida State did really well in that area. I was a little disappointed with, the interior of the offensive line. I felt that they could have played better. Other than Nessa Savara, they don't really have a lot of talent on that front four. So I was a little disappointed in what I saw overall. But, the Florida State was getting chunk yards outside the tackles. So,
Yep, they were. Florida State was able to find their rushing game a little bit too here, and Jordan Travis being the second leading rusher, Deshaun Corbin leads it there in that running back room. But Florida State had to get that running game back, and Miami's defense isn't too fantastic in the pass and the running game defense. So Florida State was able to find some success there and kind of break that little bad streak of offensive play they were having, because after a while coming into the second half, Florida State couldn't find anything offensively. And we're able to turn it around, and they were kind of desperate. Let's talk. I mean, shoot, Jordan Travis was hurt, guys. I mean, we noticed it early on whenever he went into the medical tent holding his arm. He literally sprints to the locker room. Yeah, he sprints to the locker room. They do something there. I don't know what they gave him. They gave him something. Comes back out, goes back into the medical tent, and then comes back into the medical tent, and then he's good to go and goes back in on the next drive. He never misses a drive, never misses a series. But yeah, that's practically. Let's talk some recruiting here, because we'll have a full. I know we're gonna have a full breakdown.
Hold on,
of this whole
before
game.
we get to recruiting, I just want to say, the resiliency of this team. They were in full control until Corbin fumbles the ball, and then they go down. They have that lucky touchdown catch. We haven't seen FSU respond to adversity, especially against a rival, in years, and they stuck with it, and they fought. Last year they flat out quit versus Miami, and they got their asses whipped. Same thing with Florida last year; they got their asses whipped. This year they haven't done that. They fought Clemson hard,
They didn't play Florida last year.
Well, whatever. The year before then. The year before then.
Yeah.
Whatever it was. When Mullen was like
before,
purposefully trying to dig it into FSU. So we haven't seen it, and they took that punch and they punched back, and it's really good to see, and that's what you build on as you turn this around.
Yeah, and I do want to say here, I need to get my recognition, and I'm gonna harp on this all week long. I think the guys already know this, but I did predict Florida State to win this game 31-28, and Dustin did shot me out, and Nate did too. But I'm gonna keep harping it until they get pissed off at me. So I got a long couple days.
I told you in the press box, bro. We are bowing down.
Okay,
we're bowing down to Logan.
Continue all throughout the week.
Every squirrel gets a nut, bro. Every squirrel gets a nut.
They do, and
so let's talk about Marvin Jones. That's what people keep asking about.
Yeah, well, you're gonna have to tell them what it is for the podcast listeners. So what happened? Marvin Jones Jr. tweets after the game, end quote, 2 p.m. tomorrow. That's the tweet. That's all it is. What are we thinking that means?
Well, I mean, it's either a top list or a commitment. There's not much else it could be. I would lean more towards a top list, but hey, a commitment could be possible. He's talked about in the past not really having much of a timeline for a decision and just committing whenever it feels right. And you have to think, after taking in a win like this in Tallahassee, packed house in Doak Campbell Stadium on his official visit, he's got to be feeling pretty good about Florida State.
I'm not going to speculate yet. I reached out to see what's going on. Hopefully I can get some more details. But something's up. I don't know if a guy necessarily puts out a list. Mid-official visit. I think it's more than that.
I hope it's more than that. Just got to temper expectations.
For sure.
Just in case. Just in case.
It's a good sign now for FSU fans.
No, I mean, he's the guy that fills that Jermaine Johnson role.
Yeah, Martin
saw what he did tonight.
Yeah,
you saw it firsthand.
It's happened all year, and now he sees it in person. Jermaine Johnson dominated Miami.
Yeah, no.
I had it written down. It's over there somewhere. He got held like 13 times somewhat, tonight, and was still, blowing the offensive tackle back and getting off him despite being held over 10 times.
Yeah.
This is motor, man. It's so impressive.
It is. Let's talk Chris Parson, too. We met up with him after the game. And, Chris Parson's also doing a lot of recruiting, too, on his side of things. D-Lou, he was in town doing a lot, working with guys and networking. Anything you got from Chris, and what did he feel about the game?
Yeah, I mean, not a ton. Obviously, he was really excited about the game. I mean, just like us, hard-fought win from Florida State, and things were looking a little dicey in the fourth quarter, and he was excited to see his friend Jordan Travis, help lead FSU back in that victory, come away with the win. He got a chance to speak with Kenny Dillingham and Ron Dugans, and I believe Odell as well. Spoke with them for a little bit after the game, and obviously he's FSU's 2023 quarterback commit, been locked in since the summer. And he's a guy that kind of has a personality, I wouldn't say like Travis Hunter, but he's someone that other prospects can kind of vibe with. So he's kind of going to be your bell cow for that 2023 class, at least on offense. And he's focusing a lot of his efforts on wide receivers, Santana Fleming, Jaylen Brown. There's some guys on the offensive line that he's going after. He's talking to guys on defense. So we'll just have to see. This win over Miami gives Florida State a ton of recruiting momentum on that trail and a lot to work with that the staff hasn't had over the past 4 years.
And the best thing of it, not to get away from recruiting, but something we didn't or haven't talked about yet is it puts FSU in a very realistic shot at making a bowl game.
Yep,
very realistic.
Things didn't look so great in Gainesville.
No. Giving up 42 points to Sanford in the first half.
52. Oh, in the first half.
Yeah. No, doesn't look so pretty down there for Danny. I think Danny's a little checked out, even though seems like he's going to be another year or so.
I thought it was a basketball game I was looking at for a little bit. I mean, 70-52.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Luckily, they were able to score, or that would have not been pretty.
It's really going to be game by game for Florida State. You got 2 regular season games remaining, both of them on the road, going up to Boston next weekend to take on BC, whose quarterback, I can't pronounce his name, Phil Jerkovich or whatever, came back against Virginia Tech. They won 17-3, but their offense didn't look great. It was more of the defense.
Yeah. Check out your text message real quick. It's not.
I ain't got my phone.
Well, it's not about that yet.
I don't have a text from you.
My phone was dying. I left it in. Should I sprint? Should I go get my phone? What's happening?
No.
Oh, yeah. No, I did see the picture of that after the game. I did see the picture of that. We'll talk about it in the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, then.
Heard.
But anyway, going into BC next week against a team that doesn't really have a great offense, but does rely on their defense. So that one's probably going to be a lower scoring affair. And then UF in Gainesville. First time playing Florida since 2019. It's going to be a big opportunity for Florida State. So,
hey, what about Armello tweeting out "no blooded"? That's nice to see.
Mm-hmm. Something
After
to keep an eye on.
That's huge.
It doesn't get any much better than that. And
he actually wasn't in attendance.
Yeah, and you have the game winner right in front of all the recruit section.
Oh yeah,
it can't get any better than that.
Even Shamar James was loving what he was seeing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You saw Travis Hunter in the locker room after the game watching Jermaine Johnson break the rock. So, I mean, this weekend
he shattered that mug, dude. One hit.
Are you surprised? Are you surprised? Look at him.
No.
But this weekend. It couldn't have gone much better for Florida State on the recruiting trail. I think a lot of positive stuff is going to come out.
Like I said on the Mark Rogers podcast, I think people need to put to rest that the staff cannot recruit. For one, you don't get these kids on campus with not having the ability to recruit. But also, there aren't very many schools that have as good of an on-campus visit as this staff can do with their presentation, with just the vibe that this coaching staff puts off. There aren't very many that can match what Florida State does when they get these kids on campus. So you add on top of that a rivalry run, a great atmosphere. I'm sure it'll be exciting in Tallahassee tonight. That starts to add up very well for FSU.
Absolutely. It absolutely does. The momentum right now that Florida State has after winning against Miami is gigantic. We talked about it on the show earlier this week. We said which game out of Florida and Miami is the biggest, and everyone practically picked Miami. So this is a great momentum swing for Mike Norvell and company. I know that it's time to party. It's time to enjoy. It's 10 o'clock here. I've got a Celsius. Shout out always to our friends over there at Celsius. We're going to crack one of those open and see how late I'll be up tonight.
Shout out to Dr. Pepper. I opened up 2 today, and I drank about a third of each one, so I've wasted soda. So
Nate's really getting lit. Nate's getting lit then. He's had a few Dr. Peppers. It's over.
I'm getting tore up, dude.
He's torched. He's fried right now.
I do want to put the shirt up for auction. Starting at $2,000 starting bid.
Yep. And VZ's not on here to say anything, so good. I can trash talk him. He can get all that basketball BS out of here with all that talk. All I care about is basketball now. Oh, well, I don't care if they win. He has to chug a half gallon of chocolate milk live next week.
I really hope VZ has a shoe blowout.
We really doing that?
No, we're not doing that, man.
VZ will. VZ has to. Yeah.
Got a shotgun of chocolate milk.
Yeah.
He's got to funnel it. He's got to funnel it.
His mom's got to be there and hold it up in the closet that he's in.
Here you go. I wore this for my celebration. After you. I had to take it off because it was giving me a headache from the marker smell, but
he lost all his brain cells.
I never had much to start with.
No, you beat me to it. Dang it. You beat me to it. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up. Where's the mute button?
Big win, man. Big win. You know,
Great
especially,
win.
and let's be honest, man, they're close to blowing that game out.
Yep. Could have been 28-7 at halftime, maybe even 31-7. Like,
yes.
Yep.
3 straight turnovers in the first quarter, and you only convert on one of them, I believe. After the 2 interceptions, you went back-to-back 3 and outs. You know, that, like you said, Miami would have quit if you would have.
Oh, for sure.
It was 14-0. They went up 17-0. I think if they would have got the touchdown there,
it would have been
Miami
over.
might have packed it in. Yeah,
it would have been like 42-10 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been over. But shout out FSU. Again, I tip my cap to Jordan Travis. He did. I think he had a career high in passing yards.
He did.
Yeah, he sure did.
No turnovers again.
27 attempts. So he threw twice the amount that he's on average this season. Was efficient. So, again, those 2 throws, man, when it had to happen, you have to like that.
Yeah, Jordan Travis
and
Jermaine Johnson.
There were a couple times on 3rd down, like he made a couple great throws over the middle to
I really like
drives
that
alive.
Scramble out of the pocket, that get out of the pocket and toss it back to a guy that was in the middle of the field.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. That was working a ton for FSU.
Guys, my beer ran out, and I got to get right. I mean,
you going to Hobbit?
Rocking right now. I got to get going. I'm gonna go to Hobbit afterwards. We got to get going, baby. It's time to have a good time.
They close at 11. We got to put these to-go orders in, Logan. So
yeah, we got to get the orders in. I got to get the drinks in. I got to get the Celsius in. We got a lot of things to do, and we'll have a way bigger recap to Florida State versus Miami next week. I'm just in contact with a lot of recruits right now.
I'm talking shit for next week. That's all I'm doing. Nonstop.
Trust me. We do believe that it will be you on Twitter. It has only begun. It has only begun for Nate.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Florida State, Jordan Travis and Jermaine Johnson have a big time win over their in-state rival, the Miami Hurricanes, and Manny Diaz and Doak in a thriller, 31-28. As always, everyone, thanks for watching, listening with us. Hit that like button if you're on YouTube and Facebook. Subscribe, rate us 5 stars on iTunes if you feel thankful and just in a good mood. Go to the iTunes app and find the podcast and rate us 5 stars. We'll definitely appreciate it. We'll be recapping also UF game tomorrow, instant reaction, and that will be live on here. So a lot of things.
$2,000 for the shirt, y'all. $2,000 for the shirt.
Starting off $2,000 for Nate's shirt.
$2,000 for the shirt.
And you're not washing it either.
It's the official Lucky Charm.
Yeah.
I'll have something for Florida.
Well, I'm sure you definitely will.
The hell I will.
For Dan. The wife told you won't, so.
Yeah, so she thinks.
Good luck with that tonight. All right, guys. All right, everybody. Have a great weekend. Appreciate everybody watching. Peace out.